What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Huddle Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got my man, Jay Bravo, in the building with me today. What's going on, bro?
Not much. Looking forward to once again doing another great episode here. But want to quickly remind you can catch us on TikTok as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Up Podcast. And for anyone interested in promos or shout outs, shoot us a DM on IG at Hold Up Podcast. Or you can email us at holdupodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I want to start off by giving a shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us nice with our background music. I want to remind everybody to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. And I'd like to remind y'all that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Now, today's episode is titled Everybody Wants More. We're going to be having a conversation about really how modern dating standards and expectations have really reshaped the dating market. It's a constant conversation, but I think we can touch on it today. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to start the podcast off by discussing stuff that we see trending or on our timelines. So we got a couple interesting videos today. This first video is talking about women lusting after celebrities. Let's take a look.
Do you think a married woman should go see men at concerts?
No. But what I see on social media is like these women going to Riley Green concerts and then posting that they shaved their legs for this, just in case. And I'll go to their page and it's a married woman who's pregnant or has like 3 kids. Female lust is romanticized, but male lust is demonized. Women can openly like lust over a male celebrity on social media with no one saying anything about it. But imagine a man went to like a Tate McRae concert and videoed it and said, I shaved my balls just for this. Just for Tate McRae. And you go on his profile and he's got a wife and kids. What do you think the reaction to that would be? Like all the feminists and all women would be like, what are you doing? You have a wife, bro. Like I'm sending this to your wife. But on the other hand, the women can do it with no backlash.
Now, I had never really paid attention or really thought about it like that. I guess it's just normalized in society, but what they're saying is very true. Now, I don't agree with the stance that a married woman shouldn't be able to go to a concert or things like that, anything like that.
Right.
Because I think it's natural to lust after other people and fantasize and things about that nature. So that part is expected. I do think it's inappropriate for a married woman or a woman in a relationship to leave comments like she described, like, I got wax just in case, you know what I'm saying? Like insinuating that she's down to have sex with the dude. I think that's over the top and inappropriate. But I don't have a problem with a woman entertaining going out girl nights. Like my wife and her friends are going to the Usher Chris Brown thing. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like what'd you think?
No, I agree. Like you shouldn't stop your woman from going to a concert, right? Because whatever she was gonna do, she's gonna do anyway. There's no way to stop or prevent it. But I can see what she's saying. I never really looked at it like, wow, a woman can go to a concert, she can do whatever she wants. And if a man does the same thing, said, hey, I want to shave my private areas for this concert just in case. Everybody's gonna look at him like he's crazy. One concert that comes to mind when she said this was a Chris Brown concert. Every time, he's in town somewhere, he offers, selfies for $1,100. And, we've seen some very provocative photos with Chris Brown.
Yeah, I mean, for guys, especially in America, success comes with the idea of being a sex symbol. You know what I'm saying? Like having women around. Hugh Hefner, the Playboy Mansion, all these kind of cultural things that indicate if you're a successful man, this is what you should be, what your lifestyle should be like. And so I don't think that guys have very many opportunities. I mean, we got strip clubs, so guys obviously lust is a major business when it comes to men, OnlyFans, things of that nature. But having some decorum about what you post online, I think applies to every adult, like single or in a relationship. Like women talking about how wet she is or how horny she is. Like to me, you you're not considered wife material by the guys that most women actually want to be with. So any woman that's posting, like sexual thoughts and stuff like that, I think that hinders them in the dating market to some degree, or causes them to be viewed as for fun, or for the streets and whatnot. So I think I think that with the wife that she was talking about, preparing for the concerts, or I bought some new panties, what I'm saying, like just anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have any. I'm not shocked or surprised by the fantasy
I'm
or the
not
thought
either.
of it, but keep that to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like I couldn't. Like think about this. You're saying you're gonna get a new bra and panty set, matching bra and panty set, go set, and you have somebody right at home that you didn't do that for, or not willing to do that for, and you're willing to do that for a celebrity, complete stranger that you probably have. You don't really have a chance. I mean, you probably have. Honestly, you might have a better chance of winning Lotto before getting into bed with this,
Celebrity.
celebrity's concert that you're going to here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that you see on Twitter and stuff like that is just to get a reaction, or to just get
Yeah.
people with similar thoughts to co-sign. And it's no different. I mean, back in the day, going to like a R. Kelly concert, guys don't typically want to go to the event, but you gotta be parking lot pimping. You know what I'm saying? Like I can
Right.
vividly remember going to the parking lot at the R. Kelly concert when I was in high school, just because that's where all the women are gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, so even in Houston, like a lit concert, Cardi B or whatnot, guys ain't breaking their neck to go to a Cardi B concert. But the after parties and making sure you outside that
Right.
weekend is definitely gonna be in your best interest, because you're gonna get women in that mode, ready to be outside, ready to turn
Yeah.
up, and they gonna be looking their best. They gonna be done spend money on their hair, they nails, they this. What I'm saying? Like all that type of stuff. So if you're a single dude, you got to be outside for those type of events. But I don't think guys, um, well, like I said, I think the strip club, if you that type of dude, I'm not really a strip club dude. You know what I'm saying? Like
Me
it,
neither.
it really kind of contradicts my mentality on women and being chosen and all that. So I never spent a whole lot of money in a strip club, and that's not something that I even be like. I don't actually ask. I never be like, hey man, we need to go to the strip club. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's not my thing.
Yeah. It's because you go in. 'Cause I can see why. Because you're going in there, you're spending money, right? You're paying whatever it is for a lap dance at a $10 song, right? Thing. So three song, a minute, maybe a minute or so, right? You're not spending $30 in less than 10 minutes, right there.
Yeah, it's funny. I guess I'm coming from an entitled perspective or whatnot, but
Yeah.
prior to the BBL era, but I remember just like being younger when I would be in the strip club, I would be thinking, why am I gonna pay her, man? I got chicks in my phone that are better than this, that I can actually smash. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was
Oh shit.
always, I would always be thinking about that, like yeah, I could be fantasizing about one, or what I'm saying, get worked up over it, but I'm not about to spend all my money on a chick that's her. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, the whole concept
Yeah.
of it wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it is what it is. It ain't one of them
Yeah.
things where um I don't know, man. I guess maybe if I grew up in Atlanta, my perspective would be different on it or whatnot. But in Houston, I remember Harlem Nights. They had a couple popular strip clubs or whatnot.
I
Um,
I remember that.
but nah, I'm not ever gonna make it rain. I'm not ever like I go with a set amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to the ATM again. I'm not getting talking to no extra stuff. So
Yeah.
so I'm
Man,
not the I'm
mind you,
the
them
not the ideal client.
Yeah. Mind you, the ATMs in there hit you for $5 to $10 for a fee just to take money out. So it's yeah,
It's
it's I don't think it's not the most practical place to go, especially if you're somebody, if you're trying to go somewhere to get one, the strip club isn't a place to do that at, right? You're going there to spend money. At least, okay, if you go to a club and you spend $100 worth of drinks or food in that spot, right? And there's women in there. At least you have a fighting chance that you're gonna leave with some, right? You go to a strip club, likelihood you're not unless you're paying,
Directly.
unless you're
Yeah,
paying
you
for her
negotiating.
to, for her to have sex with you. Yeah,
Yeah, like you said, I'd much rather be at the sports bar somewhere sending drinks or buying drinks, like, you know what I'm saying, like to another table of women, something along those lines. Like you said, you get much more of a better chance of at least getting a phone number and being able to gauge genuine interest. You know what I'm saying? Like I hated when strippers came up to me because it's like, you just coming over here to get money. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me,
she treating you like you're just a client. That's the way she's treating you. It's a client based relationship as opposed to, like you said, you go to a club lounge, you go to a sports bar. When you're interacting with them, she's not treating you like client. You're judging to see if there's
genuine.
genuine
Yeah,
interest in
it
it.
gotta
And,
be
and, and
genuine.
if you have and if and if there is at least genuine interest and interest is mutual, you said you have a chance. Hey, maybe you kind of hit things off. Maybe she leaves with you the same night and heads back to to your house or apartment with. And there, like I said, she's not leaving with you anywhere unless there's an exchange for money. Otherwise, she's just gonna move on to the next person.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like, that don't bother me either because you can still see the ass and everything. Like, that's what I just never understood it. Like, you can see the fine
Mhm.
women and get the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm locked in on the bad stripper in there, my brain is, I can do everything I need to do, and just from being able to watch, you know what I'm saying? And if I want to
Yeah.
rub her ass or whatever, I'll go up to the spin some ones, rub on her booty, you know what I'm saying? Do my thing or whatever. But
It's just,
self-control, man. You gotta have
I,
self-control to survive in the strip club, bro.
yeah, you really do, and it's really to get you to spend the most money. Get you a couple of some spots. You got to get a 2 drink minimum. So okay, what does drinking do? Lower your defenses. What are you
And
gonna
spend
do?
more money.
Spend more money.
All right, man, let's keep things rolling. This next video I thought was really interesting. It was talking about, I don't know the guy's name, but he was talking about one of the major green flags as far as an indicator that a relationship is going to be successful. Let's take a look.
The biggest green flag that your relationship will thrive from the standpoint of the male brain is that the woman initiates sex just as much, if not more, than he does. Because most women look at a man initiating sex like he's trying to get something physical, which is true to a certain extent. But what they don't see is that men often access their emotions through sex. So while a woman has ready access to her emotions and typically accentuates her emotional connection to a man with sex, aka she wants to feel the emotions and the connection first, a man often needs the sex, the physical closeness, to access his emotions and then be able to catch up to her on that emotional closeness and connection. And when a man feels like he's only wanted for what he provides and he's not desired for being himself, aka his woman initiating sex with him, it will actually lead to him wanting to provide less and less, to pulling away more and more, and to searching for venues or environments where he's wanted and appreciated for more than what he can provide.
Now, what he's saying makes a lot of sense. Guys don't get compliments in a lot of the things that women get on a regular basis. So in order for a guy in a relationship to stay engaged and stay locked in or whatnot, he has to feel desired. Now, that typically is just having sex with a guy is usually enough. You know what I mean? Like, I call it lovey-dovey mode. When a guy already has feelings for a girl and he has sex with someone that he cares about, after sex, he's thinking all kind of positive thoughts. He's thinking about the future. He's thinking about how much he loves her. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these kind of positive, lovey, romantic thoughts are happening to him as a result of the intimacy, the physicalness, and everything that he described. But like he said, if it's not that way, if he's always having to beg for sex and you constantly rejecting him, he's going to feel the opposite. And in a lot of cases, those are the seeds that leads a guy to seeking attention elsewhere. Even though if he might start off not intending to actually go through with it or actually have sex with another woman or whatnot, but just I just wanted to see if I still had it. That's kind of where that stems from,
Yeah.
where guys just they want to feel desired, they want to be reminded that they are attractive. And unfortunately, um, that most women respond to that. When they realize that other women want their man, biologically, it triggers a change in behavior from the woman in most cases.
Yeah. What said to me, honestly, men want to feel genuinely desired by, especially somebody that's their woman, their wife. Yeah. But and it's sometimes these situations, and, and I've seen it in the comments where, women, they married a guy and they felt like they actually settled with that guy.
Yeah,
So, maybe she doesn't cop because of that, and I've seen these comments on how these up. I think it's been in one post. Hey, it's so easy. All I gotta do is do X, Y, and Z, and he lowers his defense. But she doesn't want to be. Some women, they're with somebody right now having sex out of survival just for a place to stay.
yeah. I mean, we know that women know how to use sex to get what they want from men, and so it's
Yep.
understood that no matter what man you with, he's going to want some type of sex and romance on a consistent basis. Now, that's why it's so strange or unusual when you hear these kind of extremes. So we ain't had sex in 2 years, and we ain't had like she's smashing somebody else, cuz you know what I'm saying? Like, so I
Yep.
can't relate to those dudes that can be like in a sexless marriage. I understand that sex, the frequency of sex drops once you become in a committed relationship, kind of by default. But sexless to where you go on months and months and months without ever having intimacy with a woman, to me, that's a key indicator that she's not attracted to you. And so, how you respond to that and what you can do about it, um, varies from man to man. We talk about it all the time. You have to figure out what works for you. Um, that feeling and the confidence that come from knowing women are attracted to you, um, it is a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the guys that have it naturally kind of take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
I can speak to it. I mean, I'm a prime example. I fell off. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't put effort into maintaining my physical attractiveness from when I was young. So I got fat. You know what I'm saying? Like I went from being
Yeah.
really considered really attractive to now when I look at how unattractive I was, it's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really angry at myself for it.
When
Uh,
when you look at some of those old photos, like where you at now, and you looking at then, you're like, damn.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because now that I'm almost 50, the level of effort I put into physical fitness and stuff now, like I was just on the cruise last week. Like it's funny when you're into fitness, like there ain't very many men in my age group that walk around with abs and all that, you know what I mean? So I'm able to
Yeah.
see, like you can see who put the work in and who's not. So for me, that confidence, like, and that motivates me to wake up when everybody's asleep. Like I was actually working out on the ship, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a couple people that's out there putting in the work, but most people ain't. So when they say put in the work and work on yourself, and that's the kind of stuff that they talking about. The stuff that you do that nobody sees, but on the dating market, it pays dividends. And being desired and having women turn to look at you. You know what I'm saying? Like just little body language cues when they on the elevator with you, how they look at you. You know what I'm saying? Like the smiles, like that is it's an intangible that you don't really notice. But the guys that never get it, man, I can't even imagine. You know what I'm saying? Like what that's like. Like I feel sad for them in a lot of ways because there ain't nothing that can replace that. You know what I'm talking about? Um,
Yeah.
Being able to flirt with women and have a positive response from it, being able to get the laughs and this and that and that. And then just the questions about what you wearing, you know what I'm saying? What cologne you
But
got on,
I
that's kind of
guess
stuff.
I think on both sides, both men and women, where it's like there's a level of comfortability and both get complacent, let themselves go. Because, you think about it, you see a married couple, you see a photo from, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, right? And you see it now, both maybe put on some weight, didn't put the effort into getting in the gym. Like, I know like you said you fell off, you got into your marriage, you fell off, and then you realized, wait, I don't like, you became self-conscious. Hey, look, I don't like the way I look when I look at myself in the mirror, man. And you were proactive and did something about it.
Yeah, a lot of people just, I can speak like I have empathy for it. You know what I'm saying? So when I see people
Yeah.
that's on a weight loss journey and all that, like you can want to lose weight, but not really be willing to make the change. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you can not. I never had to deal with weight loss growing up, so I thought when I was getting fat, I was still go to the YMCA and do some work, you know what I'm saying? Do a couple machines and all that. But working out to like drench your body in sweat and vigorously work out, man, if you ain't an athlete, if you ain't played no college ball or something like that, you're not really gonna know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
for me personally, big shout out to Sean T and Hip Hop Abs. That's kind of the workout that changed my life. It's available. It's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
on YouTube.
I remember they used to have the DVD.
Yeah.
They used to have DVDs back in the day.
Yeah, and when the technology
Yeah.
changed, I ain't have a DVD player no more, so I went years without being able to do it. But I found it on YouTube last year. So anybody that I know, I'll send them the links to it that's trying to get fit. And if you actually take the time, you also have to make changes to what you eat and all that. Give up sodas, can't be drinking every day and all that type of stuff. But if you serious
Right.
about making the changes to actually lose weight, there's a path that don't really cost much money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's free. I every morning I do it. I pull it up on my phone and I get busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so 40 minutes and I'm done, sweating head to toe.
Yeah.
So you visibly see the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the confidence that you get from actually knowing you put in the work, and then when I'm out the shower seeing the results, yeah, it keeps you motivated to keep moving forward. So I'd recommend that to anybody that's trying to go on a weight loss journey. Hip Hop Abs is the most, and I got a bad back, like I had spinal surgery and all that, so I can't lift a whole lot of weights. I can't do a whole lot of stuff, but the movements, you moving kind of side to side in place. It's limited motion, but they're effective movements to where you can feel your stomach muscles and feel all that kind of moving while you're doing it. So, try it. It's not, like I said, it ain't gonna cost you nothing to go on YouTube and type it in.
I might add it to my workout regimen myself.
I strongly recommend it, man. You'll definitely be pleased with your results. All right, man. We finna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into today's topic. Everybody wants more. Well, we're talking about how modern dating standards and expectations have really reshaped the dating market. You guys are tuned into the Hold a Husband podcast. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read, or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hold a Husband podcast. Today's episode is titled Everybody Wants More. We're just going to be having a real candid conversation about how modern standards, preferences, dating expectations have really kind of reshaped the dating market as we know it. Now we see conversations about this all over the internet, and with my algorithm, that's kind of all I see on my timeline. Different people giving their thoughts and opinions on the dating market and what you need to do, and what's going wrong, and all these type of different thoughts. And so it's interesting for me to see, from a married perspective. I've been out the game for over 2 decades, to where I'm not actively dating and actually dealing with it. But man, it seems like the things that you hear people say on social media, I know they represent real thoughts and real dating decisions because I hear about it in real life off social media too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's not just a social media thing. And so I honestly don't see how this generation of people is going to actually get in long-term relationships and marriages because society itself is not really set up or providing a conducive environment for that, and people are being programmed to believe that they deserve more and their counterparts ain't on their level. So it seems like everything has caused division, and just kind of made casual dating the norm.
It it has because the algorithm constantly pushes this stuff, and if you look at one video, then you're gonna get 10 more on your timeline here, and so like you said, some of this stuff is real thoughts. Some of these people, like I said, but once you kind of hear stuff enough, subconsciously it's kind of it starts to get ingrained in your head, and some of the stuff that you see, some of it is just race based. They just saying stuff just to get comments, get
Likes
reactions,
and
get likes,
clicks.
clicks onto their page. So you get a lot of that too.
So, with the way people are moving in today's day and age, do you think that more people are focused on actually finding somebody they're compatible with, or just finding something that fits a lifestyle or provides a certain
I
image?
think they want something that provides a lifestyle and a certain image. And I see it more on the women's side now, right? Because I think from what I see is women, they tend to just want it all. I think a lot of men, I think, well, the men that the women want, I think they understand that you're not gonna have those. You got just like anything else, you got to take good to bad. Women, they're like, hey, I want these 10 things, and if I get 9 or 8, I'm settling. It's non-negotiable. I've actually heard this before, and it's like, wow. So there's a guy that has that's 80%. 8 out of 10, that's 80%, and you believe you're settling, and because she wants a lifestyle. Some they want the validation from their friends, their family, the internet, from strangers that they don't know, and I think it makes it tough here.
Man, I hate that phrase, the whole settling thing,
Yeah.
because you know the word settling, the core definition of it is reaching an agreement with another party, right? And so if you go into dating understanding that nobody's perfect, you're not 10 out of 10 in every single subject, so it's not realistic at all to expect someone to be able to meet every single demand that you have. Like, that's the whole purpose of a relationship, so that two people can get together and pool their resources, and you can make up for the shortcomings that the other person has, right? So essentially you're increasing everything across the board, because what you're not good at, your spouse is. What, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
what you don't bring to the table, they do. And so the idea that if you can't do everything perfect, then I'm settling for you, or to me, it's so problematic because it implies that I had this perfect option and I gave that up to get with you. And it's like, no, this was the best. This is most likely the best option you had. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so the perspective on it is just framed so wrong. It's annoying to see.
It is, but I think the internet has, turned it it turned selling into a phrase, or into a negative term here. And here you are explaining what it is in definition here.
But that's the problem. Even the ingredients for what it takes to have a healthy relationship or a marriage have not changed. It's just the things that people look for when they're choosing to date somebody don't have anything to do with those things. It's like two completely set different playbooks. Like the things that make somebody fun and entertaining and that you makes you want to kick it with them, those don't necessarily lead to long-term success. Being a good parent, being a good spouse, etc. Like so, it's like the things that would actually lead to long-term relationships or marriage are frowned upon. Those are born. Those are the guys that get friend zoned. You know what I'm saying? Like by a lot of these women, and it's like, well, if you meet the fun, charismatic dude that actually has all the qualities that you want, he's most likely not even gonna consider you for marriage. You know what I mean? Like, so I guess they need to change their algorithm for dating.
They do, and we constantly talk about the SD, you talk about the whole phase, you talk about the fuckboys. That's where they're gonna come in because these women want a relationship, but they're gonna prey on that and just kind of tell them more or less what they want to hear. They understand that, and they're gonna get what they want out of it, but they're not looking for anything long term. They're just looking for a fun time with you.
Yeah, and as a guy, obviously, guys know what women look for in men. And that's what motivates guys to do the things they do to try to make themselves more attractive. Getting haircuts, clothes they buy, buying, expensive glasses, an expensive car, all these type of things. We're not doing it for each other. We're doing it to increase our attractiveness to women. And the way that dating works for guys, since we're the ones actually having to pursue women and shoot our shot or whatnot, it's essentially a one-on-one opportunity when you engage with the woman. And so the way, I have these all philosophies on how I simplify dating and all that, or at least the way that I always approached it. And so I knew I'm not perfect, but if I can at least be a 7 out of 10
Right.
on all the categories that really matter, then I'm Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna have an above 50% chance of getting a woman to go on a date with me. And in my brain, if I can go on a date, I feel like between our conversations and what I bring to the table, being able to talk one-on-one, that's always been my route to being able to get sex and all that. Like I told you, I suck it. I've never had a one-night stand, so I'm not the instantly that take the chick home type dude. But if I can get her on the phone, 1 or 2 conversations, I can seal the deal. So my methodology centered around being able to get a one-on-one conversation with the woman, and then I felt very confident. That's why if I got a number, I had an extreme amount of confidence about it.
Yeah, I think it just starts there, being able to get exchange to get a number, right? Yeah, and you actually have a strategy, right? If you can get her on the phone and have a halfway decent conversation, all these men, you can get her to go out on a date with you. Once you get her outside, you just pretty much gotta use your mouthpiece, from the start in order to get her back to your house there.
Well, anywhere that you can have the one-on-one, preferably in person. In person, one-on-one interactions are always the best. Like I said, I did all my practicing and stuff in the mirror, so my body language and the jokes and understanding how to get a woman to laugh at herself and doing things that she probably hasn't heard, being able to talk, to make fun of her. You know what I'm saying? Like when that first conversation really kind of builds your rapport, where you having what'd you think when you first saw me, or asking those kind of provocative questions, to where I would ask that kind of question so that I can wait for it to come back to me, and then I will give a response that I know she's not expecting. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just being able to get her engaged and get her to look forward to talking to me again. That was me dangling my carrot and making myself more attractive. But I don't know how successful that would be today.
Yeah.
Because now you got to cash up a chick. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Like all the expectations that a lot of these women have don't align with how guys like me operate. And so
But and like you said, it's just I think it's because of the folks on the internet that they're listening to and following. Like you got the what's her name, the sprinkle lady, right? Telling women, pretty much telling women just use men for money and tell them to send you a cash app. And they're she has a good number of followers and people actually listen to this stuff. Now, how successful it's made them in their dating life or whatever it was they were looking for, I don't know. But these type of platforms are out there. It's basically prostitution, if you ask me.
Yeah, there is a lot of it, but you have it. It's easy to recognize. So, but from a guy perspective, especially if you're the average or the below average guys that most women are completely ignored, there comes a certain point to where you're going to be desperate, so you're going to be making bad decisions or doing what you think will work, and then once that doesn't work, you get the extreme with the red pill and the guys that they hate women and have such a negative view of women and all this type of stuff because they've had such a low rate of success. And the problem with that is a large reason that those guys are ignored by women is because those women have a delusional perspective of themselves. They an average woman does not view an average man as her counterpart. She feels that he's beneath her
Yep.
in her dating decisions and interactions and respect level and all that reflects it. And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
how
It is.
every woman in the world can't be top tier
Right.
and view themselves that way.
Well, the thing is that the top tier, let's just say the top 10%, they are the top 10%. There is only but so many of them to go around. Where you have this guy over here, when you consider him average or slightly above average as beneath you, is crazy because that's somebody that you can actually build something with and have a relationship of substance here. Well, like I said, a lot pass on because they feel like that's beneath them and they're quote unquote settling.
Right. And a lot of the women, financially, especially the women that are successful and making six figures or whatnot, a lot of those women, they're looking upward. So they want men that make more than them, have more than them, can provide more than they do. And the numbers just don't support it. A lot of the women that, are successful or have businesses and making millions of dollars, a lot of it is all beauty and healthcare and hair
Yeah.
and that, you know what I'm saying? Like things that are centered around women, you know what I'm saying? And things women like. So their income level doesn't represent the average man. And so those women would, like you said, be viewed as settling for a man that makes
Yeah, but
$150,000. Where it's like, sis, do you realize what percentage of men make
right.
$150,000? You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean,
a woman, but if she make 350,000 from having a salon, she's gonna view him as beneath her.
yeah, just think of it like this. Let's just say she makes 120,000, he makes 90,000, and he can pay all his bills, take care of himself and everything. Is that really beneath her? Here's somebody. I mean, okay, he doesn't make makes a little less than she does, but he can take care. He takes care of himself just fine without her. Is that settling?
It
Hmm.
depends on your perspective. You know what I mean? Like because I guess I always look at it like if your goal is to be married for 10, 15, 20
Right.
years, right? That's what, so 10 years is 120 months. Like, so if you thinking long term, what a man makes when you met him in 2025 or whatnot is going to be drastically different than what he's earning in 2035,
Right.
right? So as long as he's making a significant amount, he's on a path where he's increasing his salary or you know what I'm saying, increasing his income gradually over time, you're eventually going to be, you know what I'm saying, like in the six-figure range or whatnot. But the problem with the whole settling thing is they want guys that are already
Yep.
there. They expect the 25-year-old to already be there. Well, no, The dude in their 40s are making 100 and something thousand, but they started out making
Right.
40,000 a
They,
long time ago. Like they went from 40 to 45 to 48 to 52. You know what I'm saying? Like they gradually got there. They didn't just start out making that kind
right.
of money.
And most men don't even, like you said, the 60s, like you said, most men don't even reach that until they start getting mid to late 30s, early 40s, where they start start hitting those financial strides. Why? Because they put in the work. They had to start right at the bottom. Especially out of college. What is the average person out of college make? 40,000 maybe, 50 if you're lucky now.
Right. And so I've seen lots of people talk about the difference between men and women and when they reach their peak on
Yeah.
the dating market. With women primarily being driven by their physical attractive levels, they reach that peak very early, 18 to what, 23,
Yeah.
something around there, where women are at their physical attractiveness peak. That's when men are at their brokest. They fresh out of college, they trying to find a job, they may still be living at home, but it's inverted. Women hit their peak as far as physical beauty really early, and it's downhill
Yeah.
from there. And and they can do other things to enhance their sexual attractiveness and their beauty or whatnot, but that's just really trying to recapture what they had when they were early. And so it's different for men, especially if you can maintain the physical part. Because as your income increases, your lifestyle, the things that your level, what you're able to provide increases as you make more money as a man. And so if you can stay physically attractive to the women in your age group or the ones that are slightly younger than you, then your status on the dating market is always going to be in the upper tier. And that's what we see. That's why we see so many of the same dudes smashing all the women. And unfortunately, if the dudes that meet all those criteria, if they ain't got married early on, most of them ain't gonna get married
Yeah.
because they don't. Why? And when I talk about why I got married young, that's the main reason why. I knew it, man. If I was single in my 30s, making 100 and something $1,000, I would have almost no incentive to get married. Why would I risk losing 50% of what I've earned already?
You're right here. Whereas like you said, it wasn't as much lose when you were out of college, or you're, let's just say you're kind of at that mid level, right? And you're
Started
on
at
your way
zero.
there, right? I guess it's more the same there because you're both basically building from the ground up. Whereas if you're already there, you're taking a risk because, like you said, if it doesn't work out, now you lose out on 50%. Between, especially if you have kids. Now it makes it even a messier detail here, right? Because now you have potentially child support, alimony, all that stuff. So now you're taking a huge loss, and it's a huge risk that's involved there.
Yeah, I just feel lucky, that I found somebody that was willing to start at ground zero and go through the struggles with me. Uh, but it does not seem like that's the norm or what guys can expect to find these days. Because it's like if you're already there, then you don't have the incentive to invite
Yeah.
additional kids, additional
I
responsibility, and all that. And if you're on the path to get there, you're gonna be viewed as not
Yeah,
being
I think
enough.
it's a byproduct of the society we live in today, right? Between social media and just the way we have things in general, right? Everything's within a click of a phone, right? There's an app for that. Let's just say we want to order food, right? There's DoorDash, there's Uber Eats. You couple of clicks and your food is at your door within 20 to 30 minutes. You can order stuff on Amazon. You can get stuff on Amazon the same day or within 24 hours from your Prime membership. So I think that concept has, translated into dating. It's kind of carried over into dating. It's really like spilled over where they're expecting to have everything right out the gate to have be a 10. And here's the thing, we're not perfect. Like you said earlier, we're not perfect. We're not sufficient in everything, right? There's something that we're going to need to be deficient in. And like you say, or he's not making six figures, but they're not looking at, well, what if he's on his way to six figures? What if what if he has a skilled trade?
What
What
actually
if
matters?
he's, starting out as an apprentice, as let's just say a plumber, an electrician? Like, well, he's well on his way to six figures.
Yeah, I mean, the people that or the men that are on the path to becoming husband material to where they make the type of income to be able to provide for a family and all of that, they can see it. And unfortunately, guys don't view women the same way. Guys will find a woman that is on level zero or struggling and whatnot and be thinking how the resources that he brings can improve her
Yeah.
life. At least, that's how I always viewed it. You know what I'm saying? I already know what I bring to the table. I don't need much from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to be able to good mom, be able to cook some food. You know what I'm saying? I can provide my own food
Right.
already. You know what I'm saying? Like, but so the need is not there, but you gotta meet what I'm looking for physically, obviously, and then how you treat me. You know what I'm saying? With a certain level of respect, I can enjoy being around you. That's really all it takes for a guy to be open to the possibility of dating a woman or being with a woman. Um, but I can't imagine, you know, all guys deal with rejection
Yeah,
on the dating
absolutely.
market, but the reasoning behind the rejection seems to be so ridiculous when you talk to women. And it's largely in part because they have so much attention from guys that they feel that are options for them, where really those are just dudes that are kind of out your league that find you sexually attractive that was smash. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Like a dude being out your league as far as having the money, him taking you out to a comedy show and get some drinks and to be able to smash ain't a big deal to him. But that type of date would be all over her story. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be validation for her social circle and have them feeling like she's on his level or that's somebody that actually want to date her.
Right, and for him, he has disposable income, so it doesn't take much for him to take her, whether he's flying her out somewhere or taking her to an expensive, showing her a lifestyle that she otherwise isn't used to. It's really nothing for him to do because he has that, he has time, he has money and resources at his disposal there. But I think it causes confusion because she thinks because this guy has done this for her, she is on that level. And think about it, he's probably done that for a ton of them because he,
Other
he
women.
has he has that kind of money to do it, right? But they're like, oh well, I just and you hear a lot of, well, I deserve this kind of guy, right? And deserve is really a matter of opinion if you think about it.
Yeah, I never hear guys talking about that deserve or I deserve this, I deserve this. Um, Deserve is really a result of the work you've put
Yeah,
in and what you've earned. And so when we talking about the dating market, the things that make men desirable are typically things that men have to put in work to earn. Um, you're not naturally fine as a guy. You know what I'm saying? You got to put in the work to get it and maintain it. And income, unless you just a trust fund, baby, you have to earn and put yourself in position to make income. You know what I mean? And so those are all things that it's funny. The things that it takes a guy to put himself in a position to have a good career and all that, those are the same skills that essentially it takes to get sex on a consistent basis. You got to be able to communicate. You got to have some charm. You got to be able to think on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have some discipline. You got to be organized. All those things that the men actually want. I mean, the women, the men that they actually want learn, they've been learning it for decades. They've been practicing these routines with women since they was 17, 16. So by the time you meet him and he's almost 40, he's a black belt at dating women.
yeah,
He's a black belt at shooting his shot. He has more money to spend. He's able to buy designer cologne and designer glasses and things that impress women. So he's in a position where his dating life is on easy mode and his desire for marriage is probably very low.
yeah, no question about it. It's Question. So, is the idea of building with somebody is that outdated in today's dating age? You know, like you said, I know you said you've been out of the game for 2+ decades here, but just from what you see,
Uh, I see it from very few people. It's not the norm, you know what I mean? Like it's the anomaly, the people that are actually getting with people on their, you know, income and career trajectory, somebody that actually aligns with you know, their level of physical attractiveness in the same league. Most of the time, I see people that are single um, for very long periods of time. I see people that cut off people for silly, like I said, silly reasons, or they I guess it's unknowingly sabotage
yeah,
the real opportunistic situations, and it's over usually something trivial or something that's not that important. And so I don't see very many people with the mindset to where they're looking for
I
somebody that's on the grind and trying to
yeah,
build with them.
I would say I think it's become a lost art in today's day and age of dating here. Because like you said, nobody really wants to build it. And just like I said, previously, we live in this microwave generation, this microwave setup where everything's on a click of everything can, is on your click of your phone, and that's what we do with everything else here. And I think it's really it has hurt dating over the years because like, nobody really wants to take the time. Really, everybody just kind of wants to jump from A to Z and go 0 to 100 right out the gate. And dating and stuff. That's why we're
Yeah,
seeing, less healthy relationships, even less marriages that suffer. And it's projected to even the numbers to go down in the next 30 years here.
right. I mean, that's why the topic of the episode, everybody wants more.
Mhm.
It's just like a cycle that's um, it's very hard to envision getting better. So let's just hope there's something drastic that changes people's perspective and gets people back to what it really takes to actually have a healthy relationship. Looks like we up against the clock. We about to get up out of here, man. Before I go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. Jay, I appreciate you
Yes,
linking up
sir.
so we can get this episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Hold a Husband podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.
Peace.